Let me just tell you what's happening. So David just finished slaying Goliath. As they were coming home, when David returned from killing the Philistine, the women sang as they played and danced, saying, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. Then Saul became very angry, for this saying displeased him, and he said, they have ascribed to David 10,000s, but to me, they have ascribed only thousands. Now, what more can he have but the kingdom? Saul looked at David with suspicion and jealousy from that day forward. That's the part right there that I want you to hear. What is the high performing habit I want to talk about today? I want to talk about associations. This is when we can see Saul's thoughts coming against him. The minute he heard David slays 10,000s and I only slay thousands, he was jealous and suspicious of David from that day forward. I looked up what jealousy even means. It's a feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements and their advantages. So envy is not just jealousy that I don't want to see you have something. Envy is also, if I can't have something, I don't want you to have it either. Here we see Saul feeling envy of David's achievements, the 10,000s versus the thousands. Envy versus how he feels David is going to take an advantage of him because of how the people are viewing him. Look what else jealousy means. Feeling or showing suspicion of someone's unfaithfulness in a relationship. So you can see here that Saul feels that David will overtake him, that he's not going to be faithful to the kingdom, that David's going to try to kill him and take his position. So now he's hyper vigilant over his possessions. He wants to be in control of something. Notice that all of this is happening within Saul all at the same time. And the only thing that has happened in this scene is that women are singing, David slays 10,000s and Saul slays his thousands. What are your associations? How have you been interpreting things that you see or hear other people say? What's the last disagreement you've been a part of? Saul is triggered. When these moments happen, you have to look at your inner conflict, the clash that's happening within yourself, as an asset and not a liability. What do I mean by that? You can actually feel the conflict and let that work for you in saying, there's something going on inside of me that's bigger than the actual situation that's happening. But if we never get out of our own heads and our own feeling, what we'll think is, why is there always problems in my life? Why can't I be at peace? Why am I always in conflict? Right? And we will think that conflict is just a natural thing in our lives that we are constantly dealing with. And what happens is if you think that conflict is just a normal thing that should be happening in your life, more than likely you disagree with people way too quick instead of understanding the situation, understanding where they're coming from. And if you are a person who does not deal with any conflict at all, then you have to ask yourself, am I in this people-pleasing space rather than God-pleasing space? Do I just want to have this false peace by agreeing with everyone so that there's no conflict? So ask yourself, what is the conflict I'm feeling, and is it matching what's really happening on the outside? Let conflict be a sign, an asset for you to realize that you have to start questioning some things on the inside of you. Acknowledge that something's not right. Identify it. Say that there's a problem inside. But this is what finally brings me to our high performing habit. Associations. Asking yourself, what am I associating the sentence? That's the fact. Women are singing, David slays 10,000, Saul slays 1,000. Ask yourself, what am I associating that sentence with? This is the fact that's actually happening here, but the way I'm taking it is causing me to feel jealousy, is causing me to feel suspicion, is causing me to have an over hyper vigilant protection over what I possess, right? You're in control mode, trying to control the situation. So asking yourself, the words that have been said, how am I taking it? And then finally, I looked at, what is the opposite emotion of jealousy. And it took me a while. And it's joy. Because at first I thought love. And I was like, no, it's not love, because you can be jealous of someone you love and still be jealous and have that jealous spirit in you, and you could still love them. I'm talking about what is the opposite emotion that I would have to start practicing in my life to be less jealous of what is happening in any situation. And it's joy. Joy, and I put it down here, an unselfish pleasure, a happiness. It said to rejoice, right? For someone else. And that is exactly the opposite of jealousy. Look how we saw Jonathan express love and joy for David, and his father expressed suspicion and jealousy here. It said that Jonathan stripped himself of his outer robe. He gave him his armor, his sword, his bow, his belt. That was saying, like, I'm so happy for you. It's to the point where it's like the things that I want for myself. It said he loved them as himself. What I want for myself, I also want for you, even if that means me never getting what you have, which is the crown. Jonathan is not looking at this as this guy came in here and now what is he trying to take my father's crown? Is he trying to take a place that is guaranteed to me after my father passes away? There was nothing of the sort. He rejoiced with David. He took pleasure in what was happening for David. He was happy for David. And it was a selfless gratitude that he had. And the thankfulness, and just for what David did, even for the kingdom, right? How many of us are sitting here and enjoy watching our spouses enjoy another person? Like, I'm not just talking about another woman. Some of us don't even allow our husbands to have friends that they enjoy and have time with and actually are happy around, because we're so miserable that our spouse is not doing that with us. I'm just going to keep it all the way real, ladies, because there's feelings of jealousy there that I don't want you to sit there and have friends and have happiness when I don't. Or I don't want to see you experience those emotions outside of me. Whose toes am I stepping on today? Right? So how is it that we can go from jealousy to joy? I just asked one small question for you to reflect on. And it's for you to ask yourself, what is a small step that I can take here toward joy? Joy for that other person, right? Toward joy. I want to experience joy for them and joy for me. What does it feel like for me to actually rejoice and be happy for them? What step can I take? What small step can I take forward? And I think that very first step, lady, is for you to first realize, how are you having associations now? How are you taking the situation? Using conflict as an asset to let you know, like, there's an inner turmoil I'm feeling, and this is for my good, for me to become aware of something, right? And then you're asking yourself, what small step can I take toward joy, toward rejoicing and being happy for that other person, rather than jealousy? All right, ladies, I'll see you tomorrow for spiritual warfare.